Yeah. And 7 points for the last 15 years.
How are you?
No.
Sorry.
What it is, yeah.
He was pretty more than those 10 years. Morning. Morning.
The back table, if anyone cares to fill those out, they can do so and turn it in to the auditor's office. You'd all stand with us. Like that's Bill Metz, lead us in the pledge, followed by prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ed Chalk, lead us in prayer.
Pray with me. Gracious and loving God, we gather today to thank you for the opportunity that we always have to serve and for these servants that are gathered here. We pray for your guidance and wisdom, as you are the source of all knowledge and understanding. Therefore, today we seek your direction in understanding all the decision-making process that will take place here today. The scripture we read in Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, to trust in the Lord with all your heart and not lean on your own understanding. And in all your ways, submit to him. He will make your path straight. We pray today that you'll help everyone listen attentively to one another with open hearts and minds and seek to understand different ideas and perspectives. And we pray that you will give us the discernment to make the best decisions for the greater good. May the words spoken and the actions taken today be guided by your love and your grace. In your holy name we pray. Yeah.
Thank you. Minutes. Corrections or questions about the minutes?
I didn't see anything. I don't have anything this week. Think about it. Second.
Claims. Questions?
Yeah. Mr. Todd, there's 3 claims in here for tree cleanup chipper. That for 3 different projects or 3 months, it's 4,600, 6,000, and 7,600.
That is the tree trimmers that have been doing the work. I had a community crossing grant. We're trimming limbs hanging over the road.
This is for the whole project,
Yes,
not just chipping.
yes.
It's trimming and everything.
Yeah, we're trimming and chipping. Some days I think they just trim. Some days it's the trim and chipper. And they're still continuing work. It should be finished up the end of this week, I think.
So
Have you had any conversation with Brad Spear about maybe replacing the AED?
I think he's looking into the grant. He's here, but I think sounds like it's gonna be a go. I don't want to do anything until we have to bring mine on that.
I appreciate that. That's a good info you sent me about what all the advancing was for.
I did have a meeting with, Alfie, or sales rep. He's looking into, letting know that I was getting questions about different things, so he's looking into a few things. Hopefully I'll have an update for you.
As far as the pipeline, I recognize the need for it. Is it something that we have to pay for continuous maintenance on? Because it looked like through those bills that you received, they were coming in to basically recertify it.
But they come in and just inspect it once a month, make sure it's filled, just in case we do need it. We had an old one at the old highway that we actually bought to our facility and reinstalled. But I don't have any water back there. Any plumbing unless we pay for plumbing
I gotcha.
to get it done and then put in a station back there.
And also, I would like to strike the $4,700 claim to ABC Farm and Custom until we get some further information on what all that entailed. I just think that situation, that's pretty absorbent, all the feed bills we've been hit with on those goats and horses.
And it's not, I think what you're referencing as far as feed, it's not that we're paying ABC Farms for feed, we're paying them for hay and boarding, and then we're buying additional feed on top of that. I would invite him to come in and give us a further description about how much hay they're eating, how much feed he's actually giving them that we're buying. I'd like to hear explanation.
I think, yeah, seems like a lot of feed. I don't know much about feeding animals, but 1 or 2 people. It's a lot. Make a motion, we not pay that claim this cycle until further explanations. Forward.
I second.
Have we had any movement on the East courthouse grounds?
So I have talked, I think it was a week and a half ago or so, I had called and brought up some of those issues, Tony. And I was told that it would be taken care of the next week. Well, that clearly hasn't happened as I was walking in this morning. And it was very apparent that things are just getting worse. So yeah, I mean, Mark's reached out to him. I know Patty, you've reached out to him. I've reached out to him.
I made the suggestion probably 6 weeks ago that we stop paying them until we either renegotiate the numbers or they fix the problem. It's part of the contract for them to take care of the weeds on the courthouse. That is just not being done.
It's not. And I mean, there's honeysuckle growing. I mean, there's all types of stuff.
It's embarrassing how bad it's gotten. So I mean, I think we need to do something with that more than just talking about it. I don't know exactly what that is, but the contract needs to be looked at. We either need to terminate it, try to find somebody new, or renegotiate the cost and hire somebody to take care of it. Something. We had a volunteer organization come in and clean it up so that won't wait. And they could get it all done in an afternoon. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but asking nicely is
Not working.
no. I don't know exactly what that looks like. I guess, Chad, if you can look at the contract and see exactly what it says. We either need to terminate that and look for somebody new, or we need to stop paying them for doing a service that they're doing.
Okay, we got payroll August 19th. Total of $384,756.47. have a chance to look at that. Again, some work at home, shut back up.
I moved to approve payroll.
I'll second that.
Next up's Todd Howe, Highway Department.
Oh, gentlemen. Since we met from last time, the one thing I forgot to mention from last meeting is we actually went through fire safety training. Greensburg Fire Department came over and did some live burn. Everybody got an opportunity to try and put out a little fire that was burning in a little pit. As far as the maintenance side, we still give you greater patch and community cross the for vegetation, we are still bushwhacking and bush hogging. We've got some several concerns from the schools that have been called into us, so we're trying to address those for line of sight. Been doing pothole patching, continue to do sign maintenance. I got all the documents submitted to NDOT for bridge inspection, Bridge 141. I think we're pretty good shape on that. I've requested the funding with FEMA letter, for money from the federal aid. I don't have a total on the stone shoulders, but I should have that this week. Once I get that, I'll send that to you guys in an email. Other than that, that's all I got. You gentlemen have anything to say?
When we're chip sealing, is it pretty standard to have a lot of gravel side of the road, past the edge of the road? I kind of got a complaint for this on county roads where the chip seal. I was complaining about the amount of gravel ended up in the yard.
Well, I did go visit the gentleman in St. Louis. Called complaining when that flew into his yard. About 2.5 foot, so I didn't have a chance to go there Friday. I was on grandpa duty. So I went there Saturday morning and he had a legitimate complaint. So talked with Tim this morning, reach out to contractors because they need to address it. So I've had a few other issues where they broomed it into somebody's yard or away from that or across the road. So we're just trying to keep an eye on that. Anything that comes up, we're trying to address it on case by case scenario. I did meet with Chris Oakes on Monica Lane. Asked him to come down. He reached out to a customer in the county, gave him his insurance information because there was a couple of chip windshields. And apparently it's something that maybe happens. It's my first time for chip and seal, but apparently they have some incidentals along the way during the work. So it's not, his comment was it won't be the first time, it won't be the last time. So, but he was very polite, jumped on, took care of it.
As far as the gentleman that I messaged you and him about, have either of you had an opportunity to go out and talk to Ken?
Tim's meeting with him this morning. I know we went out to the site, very first time he called, because we were kind of burning, had a chip and seal, and there was some dirt. So we ended up cleaning that, called us back, said, hey, thanks, looks great. I went out and drove that road. For the most part, I thought it looked pretty darn good. So Tim was meeting with him today.
Will you just send me a message, just give me an update, or have Tim shoot me a message for whatever the outcome is on that?
Yes.
Appreciate it.
How far along are you, chip and seal?
You know, I've been covered up in that inbox stuff, so I didn't get an update from Tim, but I know they made pretty good strides. I think they worked a little bit on Friday. After the rain passed through, we're hitting this morning. I think we might be halfway or better. I can give you an update on that too.
Anything else?
I like it.
Thank you. Kenny? Morning, Joe.
Morning.
Since our last meeting, I've had 44 building inspections. We wrote 11 new building permits and plan reviews, and 2 permit renewals. Had 2 complaints. One was for a building without a permit. Upon inspection, it turned out that to be a portable building on runners. And the second one was late last week. Apparently a home in disrepair that needs cleaned up. I haven't had a chance to check that one yet. I was contacted by a county attorney to check on the abatement of a swimming pool and deck that were built on property line. Upon the inspection, both the pool and the deck have been completely removed, and the homeowner will not be rebuilding anytime soon, so no permit is required. I'm considering that violation to be abated. I received a call from a property owner wanting someone to make their neighbor trim the trees that were hanging over the property line. I told her I would check to see if there were any ordinances about that, but pretty sure there are not. They also complained about the farmer behind them planting crops too close to the property line. I told them there are no rules saying how close they can or cannot plant crops to property line. Still got to check on the mound work that's being done at Lake McCoy. Murray. That's all I've got.
How much longer is it gonna be before we get something going on for, how many letters did you send out?
I have to check. I think it was about 10,
How long ago was that?
more than a month. I know I got it on.
We gotta stay on top. We can't send a letter and then wait 6 months to do something. Gotta figure out how to do that. I know there's plans in the works to get some more help with that. We gotta stay on top of it. The house down on 313 West Mulberry. Just looking at your update from the last time.
Is that 313?
Yeah. He was a 3 apartment. He's gonna turn it into a 2 now.
Yes.
So did he,
He has not got back with me yet to do that inspection.
were there people living in those?
Just one of them.
Just one of them.
They was trying to break a hole through the wall.
Stay on top of that one too.
Okay.
Assuming we didn't do any fines or any violations for that. That one can't go away either, because if we let it go away, very likely to stay a 3-bedroom if we don't do our job and stay on top of it. And that's a pretty big deal, having 3 apartments in a 2-bedroom and nothing.
Because you have to sprinkle it. You have to have to sprinkle it. It's a 3 and get a construction design release.
We have to make sure that we follow up on that, because if we don't, it may not get followed up on, it'll just be a 3-bedroom that we forgot about. We can't let that go. Okay.
Yeah, I've got that guy's number. I'll give him a call.
It looks like the Smith residence still has a leak.
Yes.
Please make sure
Down
you
there
got
last
that.
Friday, you'll still be thinking,
But they've started to clean it up.
the art that they did start cleaning. Now I'm gonna, maybe reach out to the property owner. And ask her. She said she could take care of it.
And then this house, 1764 South County Road 800 East, Robert Peterson, have we done a follow-up on that? Complaint that the house wasn't livable when you got there, there was nobody there. That doesn't mean that somebody's not living there.
No, I haven't done follow-up. I'll do that. That's 1764. But you said the address was?
1764 South County Road 800. No running water, trash, drugs, animal in the house. Just need to make sure that somebody isn't living there. we can condemn it as not being livable whether somebody's there or not. Right? So the fact that nobody's there, is it also a violation of a house that needs to be torn down or something done with it? That's part of what we're trying to move to is if it's a trashed house and not livable, identifying that and then trying to get that stuff on the house. Go back and back.
Any else, Kenny?
No, I want the update on Bernie and like what.
Thanks, Kenny.
Thanks.
Chris?
Good morning. I have ordinance today 2024-11. And the petitioner Jacob Johnson is requesting the subdividing and zone some property owned by Walter and Deborah Johnson. He wants to rezone 2.99 acres from A1 to A2, build single family dwelling.
We building one or two, looks like it's 2 lots. Two lots approximately.
Yeah, they said 2
Yes, yeah.
2.9
Each.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wrong. Fix that. It was only one lot. Subdivided 5 acres. Must have carried over from the previous one. Yeah. Copy pasted right.
So you want me to strike this one?
Yeah.
Or two and make it one?
Like everybody that was, all the members of the APC meeting. I voted to approve it.
Motion.
I make a motion to approve. 1 second.
That's the only thing I have today.
Thank you.
Yeah, a while back, we talked about visibility obstructions and intersections, and what to do about it. This is an ordinance, defining visibility obstruction using state and federal data and, information to create a triangle of site zones at intersections based on speed and distance as to how far the obstructions can and should be cut back. To make our intersections out on the county roads safer. Gives the county highway authority to remedy the situation. And not part of the ordinance, but I've attached for you proposed notice that will go out to property owners should their property be one that we're looking at remedying.
Janet, do you have a number? Signing this? Is that what you were thinking?
That's what I was thinking. I was trying to remember. Having to look back, look my bag on my. Because I've been working with defendants. I don't want to hear the wrong.
This is an ordinance we need to post.
I mean, we'll need to publish after.
Your guys have looked at the triangle dimensions and all that. You have an understanding of what that means, what it's gonna look like and how to make sure that we're.
Yeah, and just follow, I did create this with input from Tim and we looked at other county ordinances already enacted in the same vein that pulled from them to help create our own.
Yeah, definitely want to try to get it published out good. The hope is that the people creating the line of sight issues just don't point there, so we don't have to go out and cost everybody money that way. So get it put out to the right people. These are problems versus.
Well, I know there's a few of them that pretty much give the county a green light, hey, if it's called in, we just go out and mow 2 or 3 roads back on an intersection. And but you got some of them that,
Well, the bad part is it costs everybody money.
yeah,
There's fee for doing that associated, right?
Yeah.
And traditionally in Decatur County, we just go do it. We don't do the fees. I think that's something we have to make sure we do with this. There is a cost to it, especially if there's road crops that they can just not. So that sounds kind of hardcore. Now that we have something, especially published to put out there, we do it, that fee needs to be so that we're something preventable. That was kind of the point of the ordinance, was to prevent the line of sight issues, not for it to be there and then us go mow it down. Try to reduce the cost to the taxpayers for having to fix that. 211 in one day.
These were working Chad too hard. 11 ordinances. Does this have to have 2 readings?
Not if you pass unanimous.
I think it addresses a public safety issue. I mean, that's my biggest concern with some of these fields and coming up to intersections. You're basically in the intersection before you walk around. So, clear public safety issue. I move to approve the ordinance as written.
Also,
Chad, getting this. There you go.
That's all I have to.
Judge Tim Day.
We're here with the Justice Reinvestment Advisory Council, JRAC, and we met 2 weeks ago. Possibility of JRAC being the administrator for the opioid settlement proceeds. Matt and Abby here went to a conference a couple, 3 months ago, and we learned that a lot of counties are using their JRAC boards for that purpose. What that would look like is we would develop an application process, likely through the county website, notify the public through newspaper, radio, that these funds are available, be applied for. Then we would simply review the applications as approved our board, come to you at your monthly meetings and invite who has applied, think of the application, whether they should receive funds or how much. We would not want any money transferred to us in any way. You would have complete discretion. It would just be a vetting process that we go through and assist use of those funds. JRAC is a body set up by the state legislature. There is a state board. Each county is required to have a local board. They are all stakeholders. The members are the justice system, both judges, prosecutor, defense attorney, chief of police, county sheriff, commissioner. Mark is on the board, a council member. We have a mental health representative. But that is what we do, is we sit quarterly and review criminal justice issues within the county. So we also report back to the state periodically statistics that they want to gather. Seems like the thing that we would be in the best position to advise you on. Because these funds do have very specific criteria. Some are restricted, some are not, but to you with very specific recommendations. So that's what we'll let us do.
I don't think there's any other places that we could more appropriately allocate that kind of discretion. I think JRAC is the best way to do it because you guys are directly involved with the issues that are affected by the opioid pandemic and the reason that money was put where it was. So I think it's a good idea.
The only word of caution, I guess, is that fund doesn't come in as regular as we hope.
Mhm.
And it's diminishing, right? And every year we go in, we get less from it. So as you're reviewing or talking about applicants, making sure that they're seeing, hey, it may not be here next year, or it's getting declining. It's not a perpetual, never ending, it's a settlement fund. As you're interviewing or talking to people or they're reading it, just say, this may not be here next year. Or, then making sure we're not spending what we think's coming in. Because I know Janet and I have talked about it a couple times, like, we were supposed to get a payment in January and it came in July or something. So it's pretty bearable with that. But no, I think that's the best path. Get it out there, get it used, and get it what it's supposed to be. So it's a savings account someplace.
And Janet, this was just a printout of the funds.
That's just a cash balance. I had to do a report on those funds.
I think there's some money spent for wellness board.
Wellness for, but it was,
Has been spent. I think previously you'd allocated it. It's still there, obviously.
The Weldon, of course, still needs to come.
And was it 135, Jan? I
Just-
emailed
I
you.
was gonna ask,
that sounds right. I haven't.
I think it was 135,000. We've had some other funding, but I mean, it's nice to know that that's there for down the road, get into any trouble.
Yeah, that's the only thing, making sure that it's either moved someplace or make sure that we're tracking that it's not part of, because that came out restricted, I think. So 313 isn't 313, it's less than that.
And Jay Wright will help you track all that, what the balances are and what's been allocated.
Okay.
Be happy to do it.
great.
Make the motion, we approve JRAT to assist the commissioners and managing that fund, suggest to us proper avenues or avenues to that better.
A second motion.
I concur. Thanks.
Thank you, Jody.
One more matter. There are a number of board appointments that I wanted to bring to your attention. The most pressing one is Public Defender Board. Public Defender Board helps administer the public defender contracts. We need signatures every year around December when we renew those contracts. We currently have one member out of three. The state appoints someone, they have not done it yet. The commissioners appoint someone, the courts appoint someone. So the courts have a person there. We have spoken to Gracie Shaw, who's Gracie Maxwell, works with Community Foundation. She also works with juvenile probation, doing some training, some programming for them. She's supposed to let us know today whether she'd be willing to serve on that board, but I'd like to have your permission for her to be your appointment. If she says yes, but just simply because we've had so much trouble, that board filled, they only meet quarterly. But the significance of them is I have to have their signature, at least a majority of them on the public defender contracts every year. So that's one appointment. On the Community Corrections Board, you have several. Those don't necessarily have to be made until the first of the year when you make your regular appointments. But be thinking of need to appoint a crime victim to that board. An education administrator, I'm recommending Tom Hunter for that. He served on the board. His term simply expired, but he was a good member of the board. He showed up for all the meetings, participated in the discussion, so he would be a good one to reappoint. A mental health administrator. We have spoken to Desiree Moore about that. She is a mental health administrator for the hospital. She is willing to serve. A very select few of those folks. So if we have one willing to serve, we probably should sign her up. So she would be one of your appointments, possibly that. And then there are two lay persons that need to be appointed to the Community Corrections Board. So those are things that you could do in January, but I would probably start. administrator and the education administrator first of the year, that way their term lasts a little bit longer. We are through the grant process now, so we don't need with as many folks on board quickly now, first of the year as we may. Time to vote for the grant. That is what I have.
Back to the public defender. Is there any qualifications or specifications they have? Okay, so they don't have to be an attorney?
No.
Okay.
Past members have been Bill Smith. So his is vacated. We've had Drew Young on the board, TK Whitman on the board, so they have been attorneys. We're just running out of retired attorneys that would not participate. So
I hear a motion to appoint Gracie if she'll do it.
I'd make that. Pending her acceptance.
I'm gonna let you know today if she says okay. All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Come in. Mindy.
All right. So you guys have asked that I give you like a monthly update or recap of what's been going on down at the shelter. So the number of animal surrenders into the shelter. Do you guys, would you like it in the breakdown of what's coming through the city and through the county? Because we break it down that way.
Be good.
Yeah, that'd be
Okay.
great.
So in the city, there was 33 cats brought in and 11 dogs. And in the county, there was 21 dogs. Or I'm sorry, 21 cats and 17 dogs. I did that. And then year to date, so for the intake on the city for the cats is 196 and 98 dogs for the city. And year to date for the county is 138 cats and 98 dogs as well.
And those are surrenders, right?
Well, that's the mixture. That's
That's
between the owner surrenders. I can break it. I have it broken down too between the surrenders and the strays. So in the city, we had 7 dog owner surrenders, 2 cats. In the county, we had 6 dogs that were owner surrendered. And then in the stray category, there were 4 dogs that came in as strays and 31 cats in the city. And then county, there was 11 dogs and 21 cats. And then the number of animals picked up by animal control, there was 1 animal picked up in the county and 3 animals picked up in the city. There were 3 citations issued by the animal control officer. Or I'm sorry, 2, and they both were paid. Numbers of calls responded to by the shelter. In the county, there were 11 runs, and in the city, there were 12 runs. The animal control officer went on. Year to date on that too is for the county, there's 58 runs, and in the city, there's been a year to date of 81. Okay, and then let's go into the dispositions.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay,
So
sorry.
there was 2 violations,
Yes.
citations. What were, do you know what those were? Just curious if they were like running
I think they were.
cited them versus bringing them to the show.
No, I think they were running at large. We keep a copy to take place at work.
Okay.
So, let's see. So we had 24 cats that went out with a finalized adoption in the month of July. 15 dogs. So a total adopted animals out for year to date is 157 cats and 97 dogs. And then what we consider in foster, there are 79 cats and 86 dogs in foster. And what we consider that is animals that they're in queue waiting to come in and be spayed or neutered. And then they are a finalized adoption. So that's what we have to do with the state law. So
What's the backlog with that?
it's because in like 2020, I think it became state law that anything coming out of a rescue or a shelter has to be spayed or neutered.
Right, now what's the backlog with getting them spayed? and neutered?
I have one veterinarian and she works 2 days a week.
The
Because
first, is that going well though? She's-
Saving a lot of money.
How many, do you have the numbers for how many spay and neuters?
I had my numbers up until May and then I noticed.
Gotcha.
So, but I'll have that information for council at 12:30. Yeah, so it's been going well and it's saving. We euthanized 5 cats this month and 0 dogs. And all the cats that were euthanized, it wasn't for space, it was for sickness. They were very sick. So we have euthanized a total of 27 cats year to date and 19 dogs. We sent 3 cats to rescue and 6 dogs to rescue. So that's where that they were pulled from like rescue organizations. And so year to date total, we've got 122 cats that have been to rescue and 64 dogs. We returned 12 dogs to their owners this month. So the year to date on that is 2 cats have been returned to their owner and 52 dogs.
Were those strays or were those surrenders that?
No, they were strays. Yeah. And then we did not have any owner requested euthanasias this month. So we do that for the public, you know, to help out. Oh, and the number of animals on the waiting list to be surrendered. 13 cats and 14 dogs. This last week, we were hit with a lot of people asking to surrender their pets. But they've been moving pretty fast. I mean, our adoptions, this last month, or this month of August has been kind of slow, but that's it. Rescues, you know, you kind of, the time of the year, school starting, people don't want to commit to, you know, adopting an animal right when school's starting. So it just kind of goes in peaks and valleys on to pools. Now next month, it'll probably pick back up again. So then that way we keep space open where we can keep moving these in. And last I've heard too, that our live save rate is at 88%. If we hit 90% and hold it for 6 months, we are considered a no-kill shelter.
That's important because it opens it up to more brain.
And being a municipality that is considered no-kill.
I was looking through the ordinance and saw a line in there that I was researching. It said all of our adoption fees were to be deposited in this spay neuter program. But I don't see a line in any of our location budgets that are part of the spay and neuter program. So curious as to where all of our adoption fees gets deposited.
Just in the cash. Miscellaneous cash.
For the shelter
But it's
or
called shelter receipts. It would show up more on the ledger, no, the location ledger.
okay, how do we determine that that money is being used to pay for spaying and neutering?
Because it goes into the cash. earmarked. Animal control. I mean, county general. But like I said, it would take some ledger. It can be done.
They're just thinking conversation about how far we are behind on the spaying and the neutering, the shelter vet not having enough time. Why we're not, or could it just be utilizing that to pay for spaying and neutering, depending what that balance is, if it's big, why we're not utilizing that to pay the shelter vet for the spaying and neutering.
Okay, so we did receive some grant money to do like TNR. So what we are doing is, I'm sending the animal control officer with a load of cats directly to Brownsburg to get them spayed and neutered. And we could start using that too, but, you know, I don't know, how do we pay it out of? Where will we pay it out of? That's the thing. I
Well,
mean,
that's-
like the
that's the
TNR, we're doing grants.
Our adoption fee is supposed to pay for our spaying and neutering. So we should be paying our shelter vet that money if that's what they're doing. And our TNR grant, which is trap, neuter, and release, right? That can pay for the ones that we're picking up to do that. But if we're, I don't remember how many animals behind on spaying and neuter, are we utilizing that adoption money to pay for that? It's designed to be user fee money to pay that service versus taxpayer money to do it. I just want to see, based off our ordinance, is that money being put in a place where that's what it's being used for? It should be behind of our adoption fee. Now that we have reduction option, it's not going to be 100, yeah, we can't cover it all. But are we earmarking that money coming in to go there versus it going someplace else because it's not in a fund? Because we stopped paying the vet for those things. We used, what were we paying them? Didn't we have a line for that?
Right, so then the 20,000 that was the adoption fee that we received yearly, that was absorbed and used to pay the veterinarian. Which, and then I had to keep going for additionals.
That was tax revenue. So your 20,000 in tax revenue should be supplementing your adoption. My question becomes, what's that? And where are the adoption fees actually getting put? Not that they're getting put in some place where you're not using, like, it's nothing about you. or anything else.
I get it.
If I get a $10 donation to go to something specific, if it gets put in my general checking account, do I know that that's where it went versus putting it in a line item that says spay and neuter fee? That money gets directly put into that fund so that we can see how much money's in that fund. When we start talking about paying the shelter vet more money, what's your balance over here? Yeah, you may get $20,000 to pay for the regular fees, but if you have $10,000 worth of money coming in for your spay and neutering, you should be spending that for spay and neutering, and specifically in the ordinance. But if we can't track how much is coming in, then we don't know how much. It's more of an accounting auditor side of things. When I go, hey, how much money do we have to spend neuter John? That's in the ordinance. We should be able to know that so we can figure out, hey, we can give the vet this much more money. Start paying her per animal versus per hour or on salary. I just noticed that in there earlier and was gonna ask about it.
Is the cremation incinerator?
It's still in the works. We have to, I was looking into the fencing that needs to go around it. I had a quote from Indiana Wire. So I think we're gonna look into, maybe just assembling them ourselves. We got the stuff at our last board meeting, and then that way. And then we're gonna need to move that little shed. And actually, it does need to be kind of moved down and turned. Because, you know, we don't want it catching on fire. Because the original place that the highway guys and I decided that we were gonna put it down or kind of in like a floodplain too. So you don't want to get any flood out down there in all those little water spots. So
What is your process? Excuse me. What is your process if somebody doesn't pay their fine?
they just kind of sit in our system right now.
We'll need to come up with a process to get that put into the court system to take care there's no reason to fine people with not gonna policy. So, take the two violations paid, but if we don't, yes, if we don't follow through and get them in front of a judge and get a judgment on it, that's something that we have to start doing across the board. Those things.
Anything else from Andy?
No, thank you. I like the update. Very informative. It's good to hear everything that you're doing.
Never stops.
Yeah, I appreciate it too, not just for us, but for the people in general who don't understand or know what all you guys do. If you could give me a text copy or paper copy of those numbers, just so I'm trying to go over a slow rate, I appreciate it. But thank you for coming and updating us all.
Thanks, Mindy. Sheriff, you want to discuss this?
Yeah, thank you. I apologize for the late notice on the email you got yesterday. You can see the draft that I emailed you. We received that Saturday morning. It's kind of delayed. I'm representing the 911 board this morning, and in particular, Nate's calling with the Greensburg Fire Chief, who is the chair of that board. We have reached out to Ritter Strategic Services, and you already have a contract with. They're in the process of updating the policy 911 standard. So we reached out to him as far as recruitment for this job opening. Patty put it on Indeed. I think she reached out to the state 911 board and kind of hit a brick wall there. And I think up to date, we've got 19 applications back in. So
30.
It's up to 39? Okay. So anyway, we've been in contact with Barry Ritter from Ritter Student Services. And the nice thing about that, he's the former state 911 board director, chair of that board. So he has a connection. He has a connection to advertise the job open on the statewide board where Patty got the brick wall. So the big thing on this draft of this contract is it's a short-term contract to help us recruit, to interview the right person, present to you for future employment. And then the second part of that is just an overall assessment of the 911 center. So as you can see on the third page, he estimates $7,200 this contract in a matter of 45, I believe, these days. So what we're asking is you're asking you to approve this contract in this draft form. And the hurry, if you will, the timing of your meeting and the council meeting tomorrow. But since they already like it, we'd like to go to the council tomorrow to ask them to fund the $7,200 of the state 911 fund, which is pretty helpful. But we want to move, get this director position filled. We want to do it correctly. That's what we're asking for here at the health concern.
I do want to add, out of the 30 applicants that I've seen sitting there, the sheriff, chief of police, and fire chief to start to dwindle down. There's only 4 applicants that meet the minimum. The other 26, really, I mean, no public safety background, no dispatch background, no NIMS background, none of the requirements that. And again, I put them all the 4 through to them, so it's not just me getting rid of them. But in my review, there's only 3, maybe 4 people that have the minimum requirements for you.
I agree with Tony's assessment on that. There is only 3 or 4 listening to the point. And again, the thing that Barry Ritter brings to the table is his expertise in hiring, because he has assisted Franklin County, I believe he assisted Shelby County, Wayne County, in hiring their 911 directors. So he has a background for this, and he can really compliment.
Small forecasting the widest net possible to get the best person.
I do nothing.
So thank you. So we'll question council tomorrow after the fund. Thank you very much.
Ron, you have anything for us?
Hopefully, next meeting we'll have the Canaan agreement. After the project, kind of wrap that up. Other than that, we have ready program stuff, deadlines coming up. for the LEI, which is the little bucks, yes. As well as Lily Given 8. We are Decatur County and Shelby County that co-apply for some quarterfinal state. And that deals with childcare, as well as administration, coordinated in the region. So just kind of deal with it.
Dawn, you have any updates?
I'd like to invite everybody to a ribbon cutting for the 1822 Bicentennial Alleyway. That will be held on Wednesday, September the 18th from 4 to 6 p.m. That is open to the public. We are running it similar to what our typical leaders and loggers would be. So instead of having leaders and loggers on that Tuesday, which would be the 17th, we're just moving that event and helping to host that ribbon cutting along with Main Street Greensburg and Visit Greensburg.
September 18th.
Yes, Wednesday, September 18th from 4 to 6 p.m.
I might add Franklin Street could possibly be open this evening. They are working on the loops for the traffic signal, and when that's done, barricades will be down, the street will be finished, so.
Give an update. If you guys remember, we had talked about the Safe Streets for All program. It's the group that came together from Henry County, Newcastle, Rush County, Rushville, Greensburg, Decatur County to look into a study of Highway 3, basically from 70 down to Greensburg. Last Wednesday, I went to a meeting up in Rushville where we heard presentations from 3 separate companies, Lockmuir, DTM, and HWC, also working with USI. So there was a group of us there hearing these presentations last Wednesday afternoon. We all had submitted our, I guess, our analysis of the presentations of what they could actually provide in that study. Since all 3 counties kind of have a different need through that study, we submitted that, and we should hear, I'm hoping this week, who was actually selected in that group. And then Krista, BZA meeting. First Wednesday.
First Wednesday.
Okay. And that's going to include the solar topic.
Yes.
Okay. And I received a number of questions. The way that the meeting had adjourned last time, will it be opened back up to those folks that had signed up for comments?
Absolutely.
So everybody that had signed up previously, they'll be able to
Yes,
come in and
they
speak
still want to
again.
speak. They have, I think, Rick will probably announce if they have new or information that they are welcome to speak, and try to keep it around 3 minutes. Kind of lenient on that, but around 3 minutes. And then RW will have the opportunity for rebuttal. Obviously, the board can ask questions at any point. And if somebody new wants to sign up, yeah, this is ongoing, so.
Okay. But the priority on who was going to speak first were the people that were already signed up that had not had an opportunity to. I just had a number of people wanted to make sure that they were going to be able to voice their opinions on both sides of it. People on both sides have reached out to that question. Thank you.
Any letters of support that you're getting here forward?
Yes.
Or not?
Any letters, any information. We save it for a weekly update so that I'm not piecemealing, but
I got one today, so I was just, it had you CC'd in it through an email, so just making sure that those, I was sure that.
that's the information should be 5 days.
Okay. So for those who didn't hear, the deadline to submit new information to the BCA state says it's 5 days before the meeting.
August 30th. Anyone else? Our next meeting will be on Tuesday,
And Mark,
September the 3rd at 6 P.M.
I have, can I say one more thing? The BZA meeting will be at the high school in the auditorium. It will start at 7 o'clock or directly after the APC. We also have the landfill coming to that meeting. 600 land, Beck's Farms, whatever you call it. They are hoping to put in a facility to capture all of the landfill gas, clean it up, and put it in the pipeline for clean energy, clean renewable energy. So that will be on the agenda.
Lots of work going on at the APC.
That it?
Yeah.
Motion to recess.
Real quick, I just want to thank Leanne Dashville for stepping in as interim director at 911 at difficult time with budgets and everything else going on, and taking what is extra hours that she keeps getting told not to do. But she's picked up a load for us as we move forward to try to find a replacement for her director. I appreciate that.
And I've already requested things from her, so she's gotten back to me probably. It's been great.
Thank you again, Leanne. Appreciate it.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming.